On January 5, 2026, the aviation world was stunned by a historic pact. Russia and China announced a joint venture to develop a new jet engine for the Comac C919. This unprecedented collaboration marks a significant milestone in the aviation industry, signaling a shift in global power dynamics. This bold move directly challenges the Boeing-Airbus duopoly and the Western engine makers that power their fleets. For decades, Boeing and Airbus have dominated the skies, but this new alliance threatens to disrupt their stronghold. Years of sanctions and trade wars pushed both nations to this point, with China's C919 program threatened by restricted access to Western engines like the LEAP-1C. The geopolitical tensions have forced these countries to innovate and collaborate in ways previously unimagined. The alliance is a strategic pivot. China and Russia are determined to break free from Western-controlled supply chains. By pooling their resources and expertise, they aim to create a self-sufficient aviation industry that can rival the West. For Europe, the news was a shock. Companies like Safran and Airbus now face exclusion from a booming market they helped build. The ramifications of this alliance are far-reaching, potentially altering the landscape of the global aviation market. The C919, once dismissed as a Western-dependent project, is now a symbol of technological decoupling. It represents a new era where emerging powers are no longer reliant on Western technology and can stand on their own. If successful, this partnership could offer a powerful alternative to Western aircraft for countries seeking independence from US and EU influence. It could open up new markets and opportunities for nations looking to diversify their aviation options. The stage is set for a seismic shift in global aviation, with Europe caught in the crossfire. As the world watches, the outcome of this alliance could redefine the future of air travel and international relations. The US-China trade war set the stage for this alliance. In 2025, the US imposed massive tariffs on Chinese goods. China retaliated by banning Boeing deliveries and US-made aerospace parts. This weaponized China's aviation market, exposing its vulnerability to Western technology. The C919, built with critical Western components, faced an existential crisis as threats of expanded bans loomed. Chinese manufacturers scrambled to stockpile parts, but it was a stopgap. The trade war made clear, true, aerospace independence required mastering the toughest technologies, especially jet engines. The fallout was global. Supply chains fractured, production stalled, and the aerospace sector became a battleground. For China, every US move reinforced the need to chart its own path. The only way forward: break free from Western constraints. Sanctions and export bans hit hard, on all sides. China's C919 program stalled, unable to meet delivery targets due to US export controls. Each delay underscored China's dependence on foreign technology, but Western firms suffered too. Boeing lost access to its biggest growth market, leaving billions in undeliverable aircraft. Engine makers like GE and Safran saw business evaporate as C919 production slowed. Airbus worried its own China-bound jets could be blocked by US content rules. The global aerospace industry's deep integration became a liability, with sanctions causing self-inflicted wounds in the West. The loss of China's market was a strategic blow, not easily replaced. Ironically, these sanctions fueled the rise of a new independent competitor. For China, the trade war was the final push toward technological self-sufficiency. The C919, meant to showcase China's rise, instead revealed its dependence on Western engines. Beijing made building a domestic engine a top priority, accelerating the ACAE CJ1000A project as a direct LEAP-1C replacement. The goal: a fully integrated aerospace ecosystem, from raw materials to final assembly, shielded from foreign pressure. Massive state investment and collaboration across sectors are fueling this drive. Success would secure China's vast internal market and create high-skilled jobs. Internationally, a Chinese-powered C919 could become a potent tool of foreign policy, offering a sanction-proof alternative to developing nations. Breaking the Western duopoly would shift the global balance of power in aviation. Russia's motivation closely mirrors that of China's after the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Sweeping international sanctions forced Russia's aviation industry into a state of sudden isolation. The country, once deeply integrated with Western aerospace supply chains, found itself abruptly cut off from critical aircraft, spare parts, and technical support. This shock to the system became a catalyst for a dramatic shift in strategy. With Western aircraft and components now out of reach, Russia had little choice but to accelerate its efforts to develop and produce entirely homegrown planes. The MC-21, equipped with the domestically designed PD-14 engine, became a symbol of this new era, an ambitious attempt to prove that Russian engineering could stand on its own. These ambitious programs, which once depended heavily on Western technology and expertise, have been painstakingly re-engineered for self-sufficiency. Russian engineers now face the challenge of matching the reliability and efficiency of their Western counterparts, and while progress is evident, true global competitiveness remains uncertain. By teaming up with China, Russia gains access to vital funding, advanced manufacturing capabilities, and a vast, rapidly growing market, resources that would be nearly impossible to marshal alone in the face of ongoing sanctions and economic pressure. This partnership allows Russian engineers and designers to contribute to a project with genuine global potential, rather than being limited to a shrinking domestic market. It's a chance to innovate, collaborate, and remain relevant on the world stage. For Russia, this is about more than just survival. It's about breaking free from Western dominance, asserting technological independence, and forging a new block of innovation and influence. The alliance is a powerful geopolitical statement. Sanctions will not force capitulation. Instead, they are driving the emergence of new centers of power and technological leadership. Together, Russia and China are not just responding to external pressure, they are actively reshaping the future of high-tech industries, setting the stage for a new era in global aviation. The Russia-China engine project is a direct challenge to the global aviation order. Their goal, a mass-producible alternative to the LEAP-1C, freeing the C919 from Western technology. This isn't just import substitution, it's a bid to dismantle US and European technological leverage. China brings capital and manufacturing. Russia brings deep engineering expertise. By merging Russia's PD-14 tech with China's CJ-1000A, they aim to leapfrog development hurdles. A successful independent C919 could dominate China's market and attract airlines in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. This would erode Boeing and Airbus's market share and introduce a powerful third player. The alliance signals the end of Western monopoly in jet engine technology. The path to a successful Sino-Russian engine is steep. Jet engine development demands mastery of advanced materials, precision manufacturing, and rigorous certification. Western firms have decades of experience in global supply chains. China and Russia must build theirs from scratch. Certification for global markets is a huge hurdle. Without FAA or EASA approval, sales will be limited to friendly nations. Scaling up production to meet quality standards is another massive challenge. The new engine must match the LEAP's efficiency and reliability to win airline trust. Airlines weigh total cost of ownership. An unproven engine is a risk. Overcoming these barriers will test the alliance's resolve and resources. For Europe, the deepening alliance between Russia and China is more than just a diplomatic challenge. It's a strategic nightmare that threatens to upend decades of economic and political stability. As these two powers draw closer, Europe finds itself increasingly isolated, caught between competing interests and shifting allegiances. European aerospace firms, once welcomed in China, now face exclusion from lucrative projects and partnerships. At the same time, US sanctions loom large, threatening to cut off European companies from critical markets and technologies, leaving them squeezed from both sides. Industry giants like Airbus and Safran, who have long relied on global growth, now risk losing an entire generation of expansion in what remains the world's most vital aviation sector. The uncertainty is forcing them to rethink strategies and investments for the future. US extraterritorial sanctions effectively give Washington a veto over European sales, fueling resentment and frustration among EU leaders. The sense of lost autonomy is palpable, as Europe's economic interests are increasingly dictated by foreign policy decisions made in Washington. The fallout is not just political, it threatens thousands of jobs and disrupts supply chains across the continent. European workers and businesses are left in limbo, while airlines worldwide brace for a period of unprecedented market upheaval and uncertainty. The aviation industry is rapidly splitting into rival blocs, with Europe under pressure to choose between aligning with the US or forging a more independent path. The stakes are high, and every decision carries long-term consequences for the continent's future. If China and Russia succeed in developing a viable non-Western jet engine, it would shatter the technological monopoly that has shaped the global order for decades, opening the door to new competitors and shifting the balance of power in aviation. Europe must now adapt to a rapidly changing reality. Its industrial champions, once secure at the top, are facing unprecedented threats to their dominance. The pressure to innovate and adapt has never been greater. The global aviation landscape is being redrawn before our eyes, with new routes, alliances, and power centers emerging. The choices Europe makes now will shape its place in the skies for generations to come.